Good evening, and welcome again to the More Summer Adventures, More Summer 21 Adventures Day 23. It is Wednesday, the 7th of July, and we are in Munningsing, Michigan. It's the Upper Peninsula. Today has been one of those days that you make plans and then things happen and you have to adapt and overcome and change those plans. All right, we had planned on going to the national park today and getting our passport books and the grandson's passport book stamped and getting all those things and all that. Well, we stopped at the visitor center here in town. Find out, number one, all the ranger stations in the visitor center on the national park are closed. Okay. Number two, hey, it was raining today, all day, and it's still raining. It started. In fact, it's actually started raining last night, but it's definitely rained all day today. So while we're there at the visitor center, we bought tickets to take the boat cruise, check all the falls and the different sites along the Painted Rock or Pictured Rock National Landmark. It is the first national landmark in the United States in the national park system. Found that out today. So we spent the money, bought 3 tickets, got on the boat, and we get a little less than halfway and turn around and come back because it hadn't quit raining here, but it quit raining. We moved north of the storm, but by moving north of the storm, we moved into the wind and to the higher waves. All right, we were on a very large, and the pictures that we posted today, very large catamaran, 5 to 6 foot waves. It was fun, okay, but there were people on board that were turning a little green around the gills. There was one young lady sitting next to my wife. She had to leave and go to the back, getting in the air and everything because she had her little bag there. The crew had passed out little bags, if you know what I mean, for those that may have needed it. And there was a lot of them that ended up moving out into the fresh air in the back of the boat. I laugh. I've been there, not on a boat like this, but on a smaller boat, fishing boat. So I know the feeling, okay? And that's all I'll say about that. Okay, I didn't succumb to it, but I know the feeling. But it was it really was an enjoyable trip. The captain slash narrator kept you entertained and everything, and pointed everything out. Being this far and probably never coming back to the UP, having the chance to actually get out in the Lake Superior, the largest of the 5 Great Lakes. They said that if you took all the water out of Lake Superior and put it in the continental U.S., you would have a 5-foot swimming pool. That's that much water. Another article that my wife had read before we got on the boat said that if you took all the water out of Lake Superior and put it on the North and South American continents, it would be a foot deep on both continents. That's how much water is in Lake Superior. It is the largest lake in the world, fresh, Now, there is a lake that is larger as far as volume in Russia, only because it's deeper. Its land mass is not as big. Lake Superior is as big as Manhattan Island. All right, so give you an idea. Excuse me, piece of beef jerky of all things. A little pepper. I'll take it back. It is as big as South Carolina. Okay. The Lake Michigan was, or not Lake Michigan, but Manhattan Island was a different analogy that he was making on something else. I don't remember exactly what that was, but it had to do with Lake Superior anyway. Anyway, it was a nice trip, even in the rain, And then when we turned around, I mean, it took him a little bit to get turned around because You had the waves coming off the shore because the wind was blowing them up there, and so they were coming back with some you know, some power. And then you had the waves that the wind was actually producing. Then you had the wind itself, so he had to maneuver that catamaran around a little bit to get it, to head back in. But it was still, I mean, he was a good captain, good narrator. The crew was exceptional. It's the they're the concessionaire, if you will, for the national park, for the national landmark. It's the Pictured Rocks sea cruises are boat cruise, not sea cruise, boat cruise. Highly recommend it. It's worth the money. Although we didn't get to see everything, they did give us a full refund, which we were talking about it afterwards. A lot of companies, once you get on the boat and leave the dock, oh well, they have no control of the weather. This company is not of that mindset. Okay, you paid for something they couldn't produce, they give it back to you, even though they spent the wages for the crew to go out, fuel and oil and everything for the ship. I mean, all that, full refund. Plus, we got a large coffee table style picture book of the Pictured Rock national landmark, as a condolence, or a gift. Good time though, and it's still raining. And we stopped and ate a place, because on the way back he pointed out a fishing village that in the 70s there used to be 13 different fishing companies out of that little village. Now there's 2, and it's primarily due to the lake something fish that it attaches itself to the whiting and to the lake trout, and it's a parasite. It sucks the blood out and kills them. So the numbers of trout, lake trout, and whitefish are dwindling. Therefore, there's not enough catch. So the other companies have either gone out of business or moved to elsewhere. But between Canada and the United States, and primarily Minnesota and Michigan, part of Wisconsin, they have enacted these different things to help control this parasite fish, and the lake trout and the whiting are making a comeback. Hopefully in a few years they'll have eradicated this parasite fish. It was a lake sucker, lake something fish. I don't know what it was, but it's it somehow it got on a ship and was imported, if you will, into the river, or released. Maybe they don't know where it actually came from. I didn't ask, but it's definitely made its effect felt in the fishing industry in Lake Superior. But all in all, it was still a good day. And when I say, they had said that if you eat whiting in town, it's either going to be caught today or yesterday. It's fresh caught. So we had seen this place earlier. We stopped to eat because they advertised fresh whiting. It was called Dog Patch. That's all I'll say about that. Thumper, his mama says, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. We ate at Dog Patch. My grandson thoroughly enjoyed his hamburger. I don't know what my wife thought about her dinner, but we both had the whiting, and if you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all. Okay? Yes, Thumper. I got you, Thumper. Okay? But still, it was a good day. It really was. Even with the rain and everything, and going out there on the boat and turn around. Souvenir, got the t-shirts, got the trinkets, got the magnets, all that good stuff. All that good stuff. And folks, speaking of good stuff, let's get on to the scripture, all right? Today's scripture is Matthew 7:24. Therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him to a wise man who built his house on the rock. And we've all heard the story about building your house on a good foundation, on the rock, instead of the shifting sand or it will collapse. You know, and you know, the Lord. I mean, this is the Lord speaking here. You know, whoever, you know, hears my sayings, my teachings, and does them. You're like a man who built his foundation on that rock. You're building your foundation on Jesus Christ. Whether it be your life, your marriage, your business, your family, you keep it Christ-centered. Keep it built on the foundation of the teachings of Christ. You know, I heard an article earlier today before we went out. An individual was being, interviewed, and she stated that, look, America was the first nation in the world that was built on Judeo-Christian foundation. Okay? The first nation in the world built on Judeo-Christian foundations. That we are all creations of God, regardless of our sex, regardless of our race, our ethnicity, because there is only one race, and that is the human race. All right? But we keep our relationship Christ-centered, that Judeo-Christian foundation. All right? We are like a man that builds his house on the rock. That foundation is firm, and we can build as high as we need to, and as wide and large as we need to, because we are built on Christ and Christ-centered. All right. I tell people all the time, Chrissy and I have been married 46 years, 1 month, and 1 day today. Okay. And like other marriages, we've had our ups and downs. But I can tell you this, that when we decided to make Christ the center of our marriage became so much tighter and so much stronger and so better than I ever thought possible. Okay? When we put Christ in the center of our marriage, center of our life, the center of our family. Okay? And I'm not saying we're not like other families and have, problems with, because we've got 4 children, and they're all married, and they have their families. And they have their own issues, okay? But me and Chrissy, putting Christ in the center of our marriage, is like that man who built on the foundation, on the rock for his foundation, because we have built our marriage on Jesus Christ and made God the center of our relationship. And it don't get no better than that. Trust me. Trust me. Hey, y'all be blessed. This is already, good grief, it's been already 13 minutes. I can rattle on, that. Hey, tomorrow we're going to come to you from a place a little bit further east and south. Okay? We will be going over the Mackinac Bridge tomorrow. I think it's the Mackinac Bridge. I know. Anyway, we're going to be leaving the UP and going to the mainland, Michigan tomorrow. So, y'all be blessed, be safe, and God willing, we'll see you then. Good night.